Hello, good evening, my wonderful people. Good evening. Sorry for the lateness. I am 5 minutes late. I am sorry for that. We just had a bit of a hiccup, technicalities, but we are live. So help us to call in the Calvary. We are live. We are on. We are not moving. So as you join in, help us to do what we do best. You know, call in the Calvary. Let everyone join because we are here. Yeah. How are you all doing? How are you doing? How has your week been? I hope everyone is doing fine, and I hope you have a less, not too busy week. I hope December is here. This is the first discovery time for the month, and it is open forum. Open forum. So with open forum, we ask also questions. We discuss about things that we want to do or what we have already done before. So we are just going to bring some um, past topics that we've treated so that we go through them. All right. When you come in, help me do what we do best. Help me do what we do best. How are you all doing? Good evening. Good evening, Blessing. How are you doing? I am doing fine. Thank you. And you? As you come in, help us do what we do best, help us call in the Calvary. We are live, we are on. I was just having a little bit hiccup with the technicalities. Thank you so much, Blessing. Happy New Month. Happy New Month to you and to yours. We thank God for landing us in this last month of the year. It's just like yesterday we started 2024, and I can't believe that we're already, at the end. But at the same time, also, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we are here. And, to Him be all the glory. It is only Him that, He has seen us so far. It's not anything that we have done, it's not anything that um, we have deserved. Many started with us, but unfortunately did not make it to the end. Um, and it makes you to sit and think about how our lives have been, and we just have to be grateful. We just have to be grateful. So yes, I am very, very grateful to God for keeping us this far. To Him be all the glory. Thank you, God. All right, as you come in, help us do what we do best. This month, like I said, is dedicated to recap of what we have seen so far, some of the past um, subjects that we've done, topics that we've dealt with, recap on it, and then also have some fun along the way, do some quiz here and there. It's festive period, kind of like have a little bit fun as well. Good evening, Tessie. Good evening. Thank you so much. Happy midweek too. How are you doing? Help to call in the Calvary. So we've actually done quite a lot. Yes, thank Lord. It's all by His grace. We've done quite a lot this year. I mean, so far. We've dealt with quite a lot of topics. And so if I should recall well, we've dealt with foundations, how important it is that good evening, Perpetual, you're welcome. How are you doing? How important it is to build a very strong and solid foundation. And with foundation, there's quite a lot that comes in. We have the physical foundation, if you like, when you want to build a house. But that is the same thing with our own being, your foundation is your root. Thank you, Perpetua. Good evening, peace. You're welcome. How are you doing? Nice to see you. So your foundation is your root. It's, like a tree growing without the root. The tree is as strong as its root. And so if you want to know how strong, how, like, uh solid a tree is, check how deep the root grows. When a tree that grows really deep and gets a deep root before shooting up, it's very difficult to break that tree. It's very difficult to, get rid of that tree because the root goes really deep into the ground and spread, and it gets this balance with which it shoots up. And that's what a strong foundation is supposed to be. A strong foundation is supposed to be something that goes sink deep, very deep, so that when you are shooting up, you are solid, you are grounded. There is all over you, you have this balance. And so when the wind comes, it will blow, it might blow off the leaves, but the tree is still there. Do you understand the metaphor that I'm using? The tree is still there. It might blow off the root, it might blow off the leaves, but the tree is still there. And if it blows off some fruits, it's still good because it's sending the fruit further. It's blowing the fruit, spreading it without the tree making any effort to spread its fruits. So, and no matter what, even rain or whatsoever, even with the rain, the tree is like, yes, thank you. I soak it up, get it into my roots, and get more strength. So, when you build a strong foundation, when you have a strong foundation, when your root is so strong, so solid, the challenges will come left, right, center. What it will do is it might shake off some dust. It might shake some dust off you, but you still remain intact. What makes you you still remains intact, and you can build on it. It can, you can replenish it. That makes a big difference. If your root is not stable, you see that when the wind comes, whew, it will blow you off. It will carry you away. Palm nut trees, and so they are not so easily uprooted. When the wind comes, they are still there. They still are solid, you know. So when building foundation, and foundation is something that you can build. We have family foundations, your background, where you come from. Those are things that you can't really do anything about. You can't change because we don't choose where we are born. We don't choose the family into which we are born. Unfortunately, we don't have the choice over that. But how you build your life, the foundation you lay down for your generation, that you have a choice over, that you can decide how to build it. When you are building a house, let's say the physical house, you are building a house and you want to build a story building, but they don't build a foundation strong enough to carry a story building. The house collapse. It collapsed because your foundation is not strong enough to carry such structure. So it's the same thing with you as an individual. There are certain things you want to do. Make sure that you have a solid foundation to be able to handle it well. You once the foundation is laid, that is your root, that is your like your basic. Once it is laid, you can start building. You can start building. And then the only thing that you need to change is not your foundation. Because once you start tampering with the foundation, everything stands chance of collapsing. So whatever you are building, it's basically, you know, you are just building up. You're not supposed to build down. You're supposed to build up. And then the only changes is if maybe something, along the way you realize, oh, this was not done well. Or actually, I will prefer this other way that the room, or divide the room differently. That is completely, it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. You don't touch the foundation. It's just the interior or maybe even the building structure that you might want to change. But your foundation must be well set, strong enough to carry all that and to be able to handle all the changes that you want to make. That is what we said about foundation, how important it is. At the same, you also have to realize that the foundation that you are laying down is not for you alone. Yes, peace. We don't choose. We have no choice about the family we choose. We don't. We are born in a certain family. It's only God that knows why. So you can't say, "I wish I had this or that parent." Well, that's the parent you have, and so you must, make good use or be grateful or anyhow you see your parents. I hope we all see our parents as they've tried and they are still trying and they've done their very best what they could do. We don't choose. No no one chooses the country also they are born into. So sometimes, you know hitting on someone or avoiding someone based on their origin or country, it doesn't make sense. Judge people by their character. Deal with people based on their character. Don't deal with people based on where they are born into, because everyone is different. Even in a family, you might have some few rotten apples, but you still have also good ones there. So even in a family, we should not judge everyone the same, like, oh, they are from this family where, yes, they are always like that. Unfortunately, it blocks sometimes um, the many opportunities and doors for a lot of people because of the family background, because of the foundation that that family has laid. So then it is up to that individual to say, hey, okay, that was my family. That's that. But I choose to lay down a different foundation for myself and for the generation after me. It's a choice. Life is all about choices. You are the sum total of the choices that you have made so far. So we should not allow, we should be very careful the kind of choices we make. Very careful, you know. We can say, oh, well, after all, there is nothing like, I have this, my family has it, and so I'm going to remain there. That's your choice. That's your choice. But you can also decide to do it differently and lay a different foundation, a solid foundation, a balanced foundation for you and for the generation to come. So once you start thinking and seeing that foundation is very, very important. I mean, when you're choosing your spouse, oh my goodness, that is a foundation that you're laying down for like the generation after you and after you. Like, think about not only your children, but your great grandchildren. That's how far you have to go in thinking and the choice that you're making today, because that's how far the consequence of that choice is going to, because your children will give birth and their children will be your grandchildren, and their children will be your great grandchildren. So you need to think about laying a strong, solid foundation, not only for today, but for tomorrow. And that tomorrow is your great grandchildren. Even Bible says, you are wise if you lay down, if you think about not only your children, but you have something, you leave them tangible things, you leave them a legacy, you leave behind you a legacy that will benefit the your great grandchildren. Legacy is not only in money. When we talk about funding, people might think, oh, it's about building a whole lot of houses, it's about owing and so forth. No, no, that is not only that. Good evening, who knows tomorrow? This name, eh? Now, wow, it's very interesting. No one knows tomorrow for sure. No one knows tomorrow. It's only God. How are you doing? You're welcome. Nice to meet you here. Nice to see you. So, we are dealing with topics that we've dealt with in the past, and I'm just picking on some, and I'm dealing now on foundation. We've dealt with foundation in the past, but foundation is so important. It's so, so important. And so, who knows tomorrow? I'm giving you I want to challenge you that don't only think about today, don't think about what you will gain. Think about laying a strong and solid foundation for tomorrow. And in that tomorrow, think of your great grandchildren. We don't live for ourselves alone. We are not here to live for ourselves alone. So think about your great grandchildren as well. Those that will come after you, those that will come even when you are no longer. How are they going to refer to you? How are they going to talk about you? Will you even be mentioned? Like, will anyone say, oh, that my grandfather? Or, how are they going to talk about you? That is how you know there is a good and strong legacy, that the foundation was well laid. Let us not live life anyhow. Life is not meant to live to be you don't live life anyhow. Thank you very much. You don't live life anyhow. Don't live life anyhow. Don't make anyhow choices, because that affects your foundation. That affects your foundation. An unstable person is hmm, when the wind blows, it takes them to and fro. It takes them left and right. It takes them all over because they are unstable. But when you are solid, when you are grounded, when your foundation is deep rooted, like a good tree that has very strong foundation, the wind will come. Oh, yes, it will definitely come. Challenges of life will come, but it will only shake off some leaves. It's not going to break you. It cannot break you. It will only shake off some leaves. So please, let's focus on building a very strong foundation, not only for ourselves, but for the generation after us, because that is where and how we can start thinking about greatness. We started this year with this topic, greatness. My day has been fine. Thank you so much. Good evening, Bisola. How are you doing? Chichi, you are welcome. How are you doing? Good evening. Nice to see you all. Nice to see you all. So, I just dealt with foundation. I just dealt with foundation. And it's just a recap of what we've already, previously dealt with. Thank you, Ify. Good evening, Cecilia. Good evening, Ify. How are you doing? Yes, we're already celebrating, huh? Compliment of the season. We are all doing fine. We are all doing fine. Thank you so much, Bisola. And you and your family? I am very fine, Cecilia. Thank you. How are you doing? Hey, Debbie. Good evening. Nice to see you. How are you doing? Nice to see all of you. So please, as you are building, make sure you build a strong, strong foundation. And that is, character is a foundation. The example that I gave about um, your family, the reputation of your family is a foundation. I am fine. Thank you so much, Debbie. We are, everything is fine. Compliment of the season also. Thank you so much. Your character is a foundation. So be very careful and be wise because character is built. Character is built. Please, let's not make this, let's, you have some things that is in you, but like a child is born, and you train them, or you raise them up in a certain way, in with some values that you have. And yes, the child has his or her own um attributes, characteristics. Now, what I mean with character is built is you are to help the child to sharpen, to shape, and to build their character. They have things in them, but if you don't help to shape it, if you don't help to build it, you will not, you what you will get, you will not be happy. And you might say, oh yeah, that's how the child is. No, no, that's not how the child is. That child did not get to become who or she must be because there was no proper guidelines. There was no proper guidance. There was no proper what? Education. Education is not only from what they get in the school. The child did not get the environment that it needs to become who they need to be. Now, to prove that to you, you all know that I've written a book, right? And in the book, I make a referral to children that are, born. First of all, they were born to a family, and then something happens, and they find themselves, being raised up by animals. We have few of such cases. Now, those children, they were born, with everything in them, with their character and everything. But because they did not have the opportunity to be around people, to be around those ones that will bring out what is in them, to shape what's in them, they did not develop. Even speech, they did not develop. Most of them did not develop how to speak because where and the environment that they were in, there was no speech. So they were mimicking, copying what they were seeing around them. Good evening, happiness. How are you doing? You're welcome. They were mimicking the animals. There was one that was raised by, I think, a pack of dogs. Unfortunately, the child was neglected, and in the family house, the backyard, they were raising dogs. So the child actually got messed up, forgotten by her family most of the time because they did not have time for her. So she was most of the time with the dogs, and she will walk. A child that was perfectly walking before started now walking like dogs, mimicking everything that the dogs were doing. And so that's to tell you that the children mimic what they see, and they mimic, they're like sponge. They suck in what they see. So let's not have this thing like what will be will be. What will be will not be if it is not worked on. What will be will not be if you don't help to shape, develop. So character is built. It there is a uniqueness. We are all unique. So there is a uniqueness that comes to how someone does things, but then you guide them. I have three beautiful children. Oh, God bless me so much with three wonderful children. And I see in all of them, they have different characters. But thanks to the training that they are getting, you see how beautiful their character is also coming out, how it's being shaped. At the same time, also, there was a, but they have this thing in them that if you leave it, if I, especially my first daughter, if I have left her to be and do whatever, oh Lord, I will not be enjoying this beautiful soul. I will not be enjoying this beautiful soul. So we need to train them. That's the foundation we lay down for them. You can't say what will be. It can never be if you don't put in the work, if you don't train them, if you don't help to shape the character. And so you, even you, there is no such thing as, something is fixed. We have that mentality. Oh, this is me. This is me. I'm not going to change. Like, this is who I am. But we can change at every time. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. Be you at all times. But by being you, learn. Be open to learn, to remove those things that are not, speaking well of you. Hello, good evening, greetings, Ume. You are welcome. How are you doing? Good evening, Joy. Nice to see you. You are all welcome. How are you doing? You're all welcome. You know, of course, you're welcome, my dear. Everyone is welcome. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. You are welcome. That's your first time, right? Welcome, my dear teacher. You are welcome, Madam Teacher. You are welcome. House, please, let's make Ume welcome. Thank you. You are welcome. God bless you. And everyone joining us for the first time, please feel free. You are most welcome. We love it. We love to see new people. We love to see all of you. Please call in the Calvary. Most of the time they say the fewer the merrier. No, 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 no. We want more people. We want more people to enjoy, what we are enjoying as well, because I'm also enjoying this. I'm enjoying. Most of the time, we learn. We learn. Let's roll. Yes. So please take time and train the children. You are building their character. You are laying down a very strong foundation for them. Nature and nurture works hand in hand. It's not nature that has the upper hand, and it's not only nurture that also has the upper. It goes hand in hand. So if you allow nature, what does the Bible say? The Bible says the heart of man is highly corrupt, desperately wicked. That's the natural raw state. We have to be honest about that. That is the what? Natural raw state. So if we don't show how to socialize, you get a complete different, case. Take, for example, children that are um, only only child, and the parents have given them their way, whatever they want they get, and so forth. Check their lifestyle. Just check it. You will see that then there is something missing. One, they have no boundaries, and children need boundaries. That is taming nature. You need to tame the nature, because the nature is wild. The will in its raw state is wild. We cannot allow the will in its raw state to continue. It will bring you down. It will destroy. It is wild. So there must be boundaries. There must be structure. They need to know there is there are things that come before them, and that they need to also, you know, learn to serve others. Compared to children that have siblings, I tell my children, I say, you people are very blessed, because what you are learning, this frustration and negotiation, and those are skills that is going to just make you stronger in life. You build up some certain skills, and then you later in life you just put it to work. So don't have this attitude like, oh, I don't like my sister, I don't like my brother. No, no, you, if there is any disagreement, I want you people to sit down and you solve it. I am teaching them problem solving, so that when they know how to solve problems amongst themselves, when they go out, they will know how to do it. They will know how to do it and not run away, shy away, push their will through. There are other people. Everyone has a will, right? There are other people as well. We don't live here on earth alone. Thank God for that. So you need to let them learn. Teach them. Your will is your will and it's fine, but you need to learn to respect the will of the others. You need to learn to respect the freedom of others. And it brings us to our next topic. We've dealt with foundation, we've dealt with will, very likely, because I spoke about will also, um, very, very elaborated in previous live sessions. So, but the will is a gift. At the same time, we must tame this will. You must tame it. You cannot allow the will untamed. It's like a wild animal on the loose. That's just the truth. And so you need at all times to, when we say control yourself is controlling your will. Don't push your desires, your wants, your whatever you feel like you must get, you want it. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't push your will all the time. And so the best way for us to enjoy this free gift called will is to actually tame it. You know, you have to tame it. And in the taming, you teach the will how to deal with other people and love. Not how to deal with other people in hate, in this, how should I put it? In despair, fear, in anxiety, and so forth. But how to deal with people in love, with love, through love. And then it will not become such a heavy load or a heavy thing to do. When you understand that I can only be truly free and the other can be truly free if both of us we lay down part of our will for the sake of the existence, the coexistence of both of us. If you have this understanding, I think we'll have lesser wars in the world. There'll be more peace in the world. There'll be more peace within you, because it's you, the individual, what you have, you push out there. And if what you have is chaos, you push chaos out there. What you have is selfishness, you put selfishness out there. So whatever you have is what you're going to push out there. So have peace, be free within you, and then you realize no matter what is happening around you, no matter the situation around you, you will not be shaken, because there is this peace, there is this freedom within you. That brings me to our next topic, freedom. When do we when do we speak about freedom? I dealt with that also. We dealt with that, you know. Freedom is not um freedom is not the absence of let me say prison, or the absence of challenges. Freedom is actually knowing who you are, knowing very well that you have this powerful thing called the will, and being choosing really intentionally choosing to lay down part of this will so that you can be free and the other can be free. I remember when I was dealing with freedom with some of my students, you know, everyone is full of, oh, we want to be free, oh, we want to be free. And then I say, okay, what is freedom? And the typical definition or answer that you get is, oh, freedom is that I am free to do whatever I want, teenagers with their parents, that my parents will not give me any clock, like you have to be home by this time and so forth. Freedom is that we can buy, we can say whatever we want. Freedom is that we can just basically go about doing whatever we want. Hmm. So I said, okay, if freedom is all that, and we all, like all of us here in the class, we decide to do whatever we want. Let's try it. You do what you want. We try. You, whatever. Start. You want to jump, or you start jumping. You want to sing, start singing. We do that for like 2, 3 minutes. And then I ask, okay, let's cool down. Everyone did what they wanted. What was the result? Oh, it was chaotic. Oh, this one was making too much noise. Oh, but yeah, it's no. Okay, so this one was making too much noise. Yeah, why? Why was he making so much noise? Yeah, but he was free to do whatever he wants. And so with that examples, they begin to think further. So then I take them, okay. So now I am here in front of you as a teacher, and I am, keeping the calm and order and the rules that you have to follow. Now, to you people, it's like a limitation on your freedom. Yes. Would you like the situation that you just had a few minutes ago? No, no. None of them said yes, because that is not the definition of freedom. So then we go further. So, okay, since you don't want that. In this setting where we are calm and listening to each other, will you say you are free? Yes. Why? How? There are rules that you have to follow. There are rules, you have to follow rules. So how can you be following rules and say that you are free? And then we go further. To be truly free, it's not the absence of rules. No. To be truly free is not that you do whatever you want. Mm-mm. To be truly free is that you respect also the freedom of others. You respect the boundaries that others have set. Like, okay, look, I don't like too much noise, so please try and respect my peace. And then the other also need to respect that, okay, I understand that you want to play music and so forth, but from this time, can you please reduce it? But because we are by nature, so self-centered, it's difficult for each and everyone to abide by these self-imposed rules. So automatically we need, another hand, a higher hand, to place rules on us so that we can all live freely, all be happy, without having to, or constantly go, like you have neighbors that don't respect your privacy, for example. It's annoying. But then you have the law. There are laws that actually demand that the neighbors should learn to respect, each other. And so if something like that is not working, you can go there and say, neighbor, please, can let's come to terms. Let's talk together, you know, to get an agreement. There is the law, there is a general governing law for each and every one of us. And then we have to now interpret the law with rules. What are rules? Rules is how to, how not to, how to, and how not to. We are not going to do this. This is what we expect. We are not going to do that. This is what we expect. And that the rules is actually based on the law. Like where we make laws in schools, you have the policy, the school policy, and then we bring it down to the classroom. Oh, this is the school policy. So how does it translate to us in the classroom? It means we respect the teacher, we respect each other, we let each other speak, we don't interrupt, we lift up our hands if we want to talk. Those, you break it down into rules so that you can be able to walk within the law. We walk within the law by the rules. So the rules can feel limiting, they can feel choking if they become too much. If they become too much, but they are actually meant to regulate our freedom. Now, it's a different thing if your freedom is taken away from you altogether, like in some um, political, yeah, situations. Civilians can be stripped of their liberty, can be stripped of their freedom. That is like it's taken away from them completely, and whatever you say or do, you have to be careful. Like in a very authoritarian regime, you have that. In a totalitarian regime, you have that. You have to be careful as a civilian, what you say, what you do, because your big brother is watching, something like that. But that's not what I'm talking about. That's not the kind of rules that I'm explaining here. The kind of rules that I'm explaining here is just the rules that regulate our relationships. There are rules that regulate our relationships. And so if we don't respect those rules, if you don't find out, okay, this person that I want to be friends with, what are his or her likes? The other one, what are his or her likes? And then you walk along with it. If not, you cannot say, oh, I'm free and I'm doing whatever I want. It doesn't work like that. Now we have something that we call, when we are talking about rules, we have something that we call the unwritten rules, or the unwritten rules of engagement. You have the rules of engagement, but you also have the unwritten rules of engagement. Those are the ones that are not written down. Oh, please, please don't let network disturb you. Wait, Bisola said, any and wait, let me put it here. Another one is owing your landlord and you planning to fry chicken. How will you explain that? Well, it's up to you. I think the money that you own the landlord will not, um or the money you used to buy the chicken will not be enough to pay the landlord anyway. So, but yeah, that one is a different ball game altogether, you know. But it's the unwritten rules of engagement makes it um, makes it sometimes difficult, because what it means is that you need to read the room. You need to read the people you are dealing with. You need to read the people around you. You need to read it. And then you watch their ways and moves. And based on that, you can say, okay, this is how this person moves. Or this is the likes and the dislikes. This is, and that's how you learn to move with each other. We move a lot with each other based on the unwritten rules of engagement. I know, dear. I know. Based on the rules of engagement. And so without those things, relationship is very difficult. You cannot be in a relationship where everyone is doing whatever they want. You don't call that a relationship. You don't. But always what I say is think also about the relationship you have with yourself. The body cannot do whatever the body wants, right? The soul, which is your will, mustn't do whatever the soul wants. Your spirit is always there watching, but that is the one that is most of the time forgotten. And so in your spirit, your spirit has the truth and everything. But your soul is so overwhelming that if you don't, that is where your will is. That is where your will, your emotions are. So if you don't tame your will and emotions, you silence your spirit. And then you lack a whole lot, because what the body is just going to be reacting on is the impulses of the soul, not the calm, peace, loving whatsoever that is coming from the spirit through the soul to the body. So you are and must be in relationship with the three of you: body, soul, spirit. Three of you. The three of you. And that is how if you are able to be in a relationship with the three of you in a very harmonious way, you become a balanced person. Remember the topic we had about balance? You become what? A balanced person. You become, and then your foundation is also solid. You become more aware of who you are. And you're not threatened by little storms here and there or another person's success, because you know who you are. You are solid. And then you start building more. You see, one thing about life, please, my people, never have this feeling, or never have in you, I have arrived. I have arrived. I know it all. We never know it all. Every stage you reach, there is a new, like a new revelation that you'll get from that stage, if only you are willing to learn. There'll be a new revelation to you. There'll be a new opening, a new, eye-opening things to you that you'll be like, oh wow, I thought I knew that. I thought I knew everything. But it's impossible for you to know everything. Know that. Life is older than you. Life is older than me and you together. Life is older than all of us living now, presently here on earth. It was there. If our time comes and we are called, it's still going to be here until Jesus tarry. The life as we know it now will continue to be. Will continue to be. There will be a new life. Yes, we know there is, and there will be a new life. But the life that we know it now will continue to be until that fateful time. So do not think you know it all. Do not think in your limited time frame that you have been able to acquire all the knowledge that there is. and then you know it all. It isn't. Even Solomon, with all his wisdom, he realized there are a lot of things that's actually very, very vain, is vanity. Vanity upon vanity. There are a lot of things. Even with all that, there was still a lot that he still needed to learn from life. So please let not think we have arrived. You need to open up. You need to learn. There is no such thing as fixed. If you are a fixed person, well, let's just say that you miss out on a lot. At the same time, also, don't be one that is so gullible. This one, everything goes. Then you also have no roots. You have no roots. Don't forget, having roots is the foundation. That's your foundation. That's your basic. You need to have roots. And then you now start learning, building, and you learn. And okay, this is not good, I change. Okay, this is not good, I change. But you do not change your root. You don't touch your root because that is what makes you stable. That is what makes you you. That is what is carrying you. So if along the way the building there is something, there is a mistake there, they can correct without having to touch the root. They can correct something without having to, you know, destroy the foundation. You only destroy foundation if the foundation is wrong, if the foundation has a crack. There can be cracks in the foundation. So if one way along the way there have been a crack that if you don't correct it will cause serious problem, but from the house and everything will collapse if you don't correct it. That is not rebuilding your foundation. That is correcting. That is strengthening the foundation. It's a different thing. There are times you really need to redo, the example that I gave. Like if you are from a family whose reputation really has been tarnished, damaged, all that, you need to build a new, strong, solid foundation. Then you just do away with all that and build yourself a good, strong foundation. But either than that, you are not supposed to touch your foundation. Other than that, and apart from repairing where it needs to be repaired, you know, sometimes you might have old things and you like it needs to be strengthened. It needs to be, be made solid again. Eh, that is necessary. That is necessary. And then you can build. You can design the house anyhow you want. You can change the colors anytime you want. That's a different thing. You are not breaking down and rebuilding foundation. You can even break down the house and rebuild it again as long as your foundation still remains intact. And as long as the new building that you want to build the foundation is strong enough to handle that new building, you don't have a problem. So take time to build a strong and solid foundation. And as you are building your freedom and my freedom, it's very important. Think about that. Here, to give you an example, when they talk about freedom, some people think, oh, be free is, to know very well that you have to respect into details everything. You know, when you are fortunate to acquire land, and I'm saying that really, when you are fortunate to acquire a land here and you want to build, they will tell you the specifications that the building must have considering the area. You cannot just raise anyhow building anywhere. You can't. The building needs to be in line with the building regulations of that area. If it's not, you have serious problem. Anyways, if it's not, they are not going to approve it in the first place. So your the architect need to do a great design respecting the code, the building codes, and the specifications that the building itself must have. And then it must be approved before you can start. If it is not approved, you can't start. So to tell you, we are here, we are in the Western world, we are in democracy and so forth. To tell you how things are so regulated, it's not joke. If the house, if there is a certain length in that area that it has to respect. If the house, you know, is taller than it should be, you have a problem. You will have a problem unless it is pre agreed upon, unless they have already given you the permission with that plan to do. But while you're building, you think, oh, they've approved, so I want to just be smart, be smart like some people, and add a little bit. You are going to pay it dearly. That is how rigid they are here with rules, with regulations. Why? You need to respect the environment. You need to respect your neighbors. Your building should not block their view. Your building should not block, what is also their freedom. So they try to regulate things in a way that everyone still enjoys that freedom. But you to enjoy that freedom, yeah, you need to give in. You need to give in some of your freedom. That's how it works. Yes, absolutely. Sometimes in Africa, most people don't respect. They have the building regulations and all that, but some people don't respect it. They don't respect it, and because law is not really working, people just do anyhow thing. Even there are some will go and build on where normally it's made for road. Every area has a they've already drawn a map that if they want to develop that area, how that area should look like. So if you're buying a land somewhere, it's very important to first go and check what plans do they have with this area, because some people, how they sell land, if you're not careful, it becomes problem. Even they will sell the same land to how many people, and then you have to go to law and so forth. So you need to do the background check very well. What is the plan for this area? What 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 plan do they have? Sometimes they want to make a road. Road is it's government that makes the road. So if they have in their planning, in their developing planning, one day to draw a road between this plot and that plot, and connect this and that, then you know where not to build your house exactly. Because if you go and build it in the middle of the road, whenever they are ready to make that road, they have every right to come and say, Oga or Madam, this no be amo. This is not what you're supposed to be. I'm sorry, you need to clear road. And then it becomes problem. Oh, but check, check. Normally they should have a plan, a pre-plan. They cannot just wake up at once. If there is no pre-plan and say we are going to make road here, there must be a pre-plan. This is what we want. And then this we are going to make this area a road linking it from this to that place. If not, you are going to be in trouble. If you build on a place that is meant for road, you are going to be in trouble. Good evening, Falashade. You are welcome. How are you doing? You're welcome. Bisola says it happens opposite my house. The foundation built for two-story building because of greediness. They built five, yeah, and then it collapsed. And then it collapsed. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the sad story. Unfortunately, most people don't pay attention to that. You know, and that's just the example that I want to give. Even physical buildings, if you don't take care of the foundation, if you don't take care of the foundation and build a strong and solid foundation, strong enough to carry the kind of building that you want to build, you'll be having these situations. You'll be having these situations. So you as a person, you also need to build that. If you go and carry what you cannot carry, you collapse. It will swallow you. What is not meant to swallow you will swallow you because you did not take the time to prepare. So foundation needs to be strong. Foundation is very important. Very, very important. And with foundation, your freedom and my freedom, the freedom of us all, is very important. We can only be free, truly free, if we tame the will. If we are ready to tame our will, we will find true freedom. But if not, and you think you want to do anyhow, for like the examples that my students had to go through, after a while they realize, yeah, okay, we need something to regulate our relationships. We need laws to regulate our relationship, but also not over regulated. That was a conclusion that we came to, that we need laws. Yes, we because if not, traffic light, what is traffic light meant for? Traffic light is meant to regulate, to tame our will. Because if you leave everyone and anyone, like, that's why there is a lot of traffic most of the time on the way, because everyone is pushing their will through. Everyone wants to go. And if everyone wants to go, this one don't want to give way, that one don't want to give way, you get problem, chaos, you get problem. So the traffic light is there, if we respect it, to regulate. You wait, those other ones pass, then when it's green for you, you go. Simple as ABC. They did it to protect ourselves, but so that everyone can still enjoy their freedom. But things should not be over regulated. It should not be like in the totalitarian regime where you don't even have enough room to breathe, not to talk of to feel free. So in everything, balance is very important. All right, we have come to the end of today's program. I thank you all so much. Thank you for your time. Ume, I hope and that you feel welcome. Um, who knows tomorrow? I also hope you feel welcome. Thank you all so much for joining. Joy, Debbie, Bisola. Thank you all so much. You have I really appreciate you all. Perpetual, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Happiness, thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you. Peace. I hope you also took something with you, or you are taking something. Ify, thank you so much. Cecilia, nice seeing you all. I hope to see you next week. Next week is going to be another awesome time. Um, Benjamin, thank you all so much. So see you next week by His grace, and we will have again a wonderful time together. Thank you, Ume. All right. So see you next week by His grace. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. You are welcome, Bisola. Thank you also so much. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy your weekend with your loved ones. And please don't take anyone for granted. You never know. You never know. So don't take anyone for granted, including yourself. And God bless you all.